Growing up, I learned a lot from my dad. Now, some dads read bedtime stories to their kids. My dad, well, at the age of 5, he started asking me to read him bedtime stories. My dad was always trying to teach me something when I was growing up. But every day, he would always try to hammer home the same 3 points. And I was so bad at learning them. But I'll share them with you now. 1, stand up straight. 2, eat more vegetables. And 3, go to bed early. It was really annoying to hear the same 3 things over and over and over again. But his heart was in the right place, albeit he was a bit zealous. But my dad was also very considerate, and he was very caring, and he really looked after his friends and his family. So for example, when I was 10, my parents had a birthday party for me. And my friend Gavin asked for a Pepsi. We actually didn't have any Pepsi. We had everything but Pepsi. So my friend Gavin said, that's okay, I'll have a Coke. But you know what my dad did? He marched to the car, drove to the grocery store, and came back with a bottle of Pepsi for my friend Gavin. And he said he'd never seen anybody do that for him before. So he was amazed, but I knew that my dad always went the extra mile for his family and for his friends. But sometimes this passion would actually lead to disaster. For example, when I was 16 years old, my neighbors complained and whined and moaned about the size of the tree in our backyard. My neighbor said, "That tree, it's so big it's blocking the sun. The sun is being blocked from my garden. The leaves are blocking everything, and it's taller than my house." And so my dad went to the garage, took his 15-foot ladder, took his chainsaw, went up to the backyard. But I don't know what he was thinking because he didn't tell anybody. So I did not actually know what he was doing back there. All I know is that one day, my mom and I heard this awful sound, and by the time we found out where it was coming from, this sound, by the time we found out what that sound was coming from, we heard another noise. My mom and I rushed outside. We saw my dad. He was lying there. He wasn't moving. An ambulance took him away. We rushed to the hospital. The doctors said that my dad, while he was lucky to be alive, would probably be paralyzed, and he would probably never walk again in his life. My dad said to me, "Son, take care of your mom, study hard in school, and remember, stand up straight, eat your vegetables, and go to bed early." But the story doesn't end there. My dad always wanted to take care of his family, and he still did. This accident didn't stop him. He kept on trying to get better. He worked with doctors, chiropractors, physiotherapists, and traditional Chinese medicine practitioners. And he worked hard. He would not let his broken bones defeat him. Incidentally, he did in fact break his foot. He shattered his foot and he fractured his spine. So these are very serious injuries. But with his willpower and his tremendous passion, he was able to overcome that. And in time, he came to use a wheelchair. And then he came to use a cane. And then eventually, he came to regain the full use of his legs. Because my father never gave in, because my father never gave up, Instead, he actually rose up. So growing up, my father taught me a lot. I learned a lot from my dad. But I think actually that I learned more from his actions than I did from his words. And perhaps all the parents in the room may realize that as well. Your kids are watching and you never know what they're going to learn. The three things that I learned from my dad were: 1, life is short. So 2, take care of your friends and your family. Go the extra mile. And 3, never give up. And of course, stand up straight, eat more vegetables, and go to bed early.